Welcome to Deep Thought. People need to think on things. You know what? One of the things I used to do on, like in the old style message boards or something, and I picked this up from another gentleman. He'll write something deep, real deep, and then he'll like think on this, and I started picking that up too. Like, I'll say think on this. Like when I hit something deep, and I always tell a person, think on this. All right? Like, I literally want them to think on it. I'm not telling them what to do as far as they should believe this particular position. I just say, just think about it. People need to think on things. I look at people sometime, and the things that come out their mouth, you just be like, did you really sit down and think about that? Right? Because most people, they'll do like several things. They will accept information if it comes from an official source or a source they think is official. I'll give you an example, right? If a person writes a book, and it could have all the pseudo scientific, whatever, even footnotes, people will take it as gospel just because somebody put it in a book. Which is crazy because the overwhelming majority of books on the market are self-published, even if they have someone else's imprint on it. Because you have companies that specialize in, it used to be called vanity press, but self-publishing is so normalized now that even celebrities do it now, And I don't blame them. From a publishing perspective, you get more money. Like I've been publishing, I got a publishing company. That's like my main business. And trust me, when I publish myself, I see more of the money. Why give a third party money? Especially since, and I know this is a tangent, but just follow me. Especially since you lost my train of thought there. No, especially since you end up promoting your own book anyway, right? And that's just a little tangent, but even that's in line with my subject for today, which is thinking about it, right? Now, anyway, I was using a book example because a lot of people, they'll take secondhand information, but they don't really think about it. Now, understand something, right? They'll listen to it because someone with an official title, with a good-looking book cover, or even a video with like great production value. It's like, oh, it got great production value and everything. That don't mean anything. Did you really think about the information or just accept it? In fact, I'm going to tell you what, certain groups, especially like pharmaceutical groups or groups promoting like certain things to sell, medicines, anything like that, they will always have someone official, something official to validate whatever they're trying to sell. Like, and I would argue that with a lot of stuff because, like something like ADHD. Now, I ain't going to get into it too much, but there are people who feel like it's a made-up disease. Now, I don't have an opinion either way about it. I haven't looked into it. But think about one thing about that. Whether it's something that should be considered legitimate or something that should be considered some bullshit. Somebody making money off because a pharmaceutical company is making money off of it, right? Now, I know, I know deep thought, we go on some tangents here, but we're going to bring that back around. Did anybody actually think about it? Like, sit down and think about it. Like, we just accept stuff, right? And that's the worst thing. And I've said this for myself. I said this on my men's channel. My primarily giving self-development advice to men, but I always say, don't just take my word for it. Take your butt outside and actually try what I said. Now, I've had people hit me up. They'll say, Rom, I did what you said, and it worked. And at the same time, I've had people say it's bullshit. I say, did you actually do what I say do? No, I don't need to because I know it won't work. You say, no, you don't. You didn't try it. Right? Just think about it. Like, when I say think on things, it's like, don't just take it. Examine, think about it, look at it. Question who has an agenda, because everybody has an agenda, right? Don't accept the information just because, right? And that's what people do. They accept it from official sources. They accept it because it confirms their biases. I don't want to get into that. People basically want something to agree with them. Because I use an example now. This kind of leans to my relationship thing, right? You know, I've done some videos. If you follow me on my main channel, my main men's channel, I do some videos that have to do with, you know, man's physical appearance, his bodybuilding and everything. I can find, if I look up stuff on the internet about what a woman prefers in a body, of course I can find the ones that say, oh, they prefer a strong muscular body, right? And, you know, of course, that's my position. That's me. People know that's my position. Hit the gym. You know, body game, right? But then at the same time, I can find some studies that say, oh, no, they prefer a chubby body. No, seriously, I've actually found that. I can find some that says they prefer a slim body. You know, you get some studies that say women prefer hunks. You get some studies that say women prefer a smart guy. And I guarantee if I checked every single one of those studies and say, hey, y'all, who sponsored that study? Well, it was a university. Okay, who's donating to that university? Which pharmaceutical company, right? For example, if I was a gym, say I was a large gym chain, right? Or I was a supplement company. That's even better. A company that makes muscle supplements, stuff that purportedly to help you grow bigger muscles or to work out better, right? I got a whole line of products, right? And say, you know, since I'm an enterprising person, I have not only those products, but I have clothing products, workout gear, and stuff like that. Say also I have maybe own some gyms and, you know, I own the process to actually manufacture weights, right? So I own all those things, all of them related to the fitness industry, all of them related to building up muscle. So I'm thinking to myself, you know what, I got to fill up this gym. I got to fill up this gym. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put out something. I'm going to sponsor a study, right? I'm going to sponsor a study. And that study, you know, I want them to, you know, and you want to kind of imply, you ain't going to tell them because you want to give them the illusion that they're objective in this, but you want to imply that you want to test the hypothesis that women prefer muscular men, right? And then, you know, the scientists, the people researching it, they got to eat. And, you know, they want to keep the money flowing. So they want to have a tendency to lean towards finding whatever this company wants, right? And in fact, they're not even getting paid directly. The university is getting it, so the university putting the pressure on the company looking totally innocent. In fact, it would take maybe some detective skills to find out the company's donating or giving some money to the school for this study, right? So, you know, they find a study, say, hey, women prefer muscular men, right? The study comes out there. All of a sudden, they make sure everybody knows about that study, right? You know, they take out an advertisement in a local newspaper or someplace, right? They take out an advertisement and then they say, they might whisper in the editor's ear, say, hey, you know, there was a study. Why don't you check it out? And the editor, of course, knows who's paying his or her bills, right? So it's like, oh, let me check that out. Oh, let me run a story about that, right? You know, major thing. People say, oh, it was in a major newspaper, right? So this must be true. And it's the same thing. Like I mentioned, you get some people say it's a dad bod or something, right? I guarantee you check somebody got something on it. And my main point for even use that example, regardless, it could be relatively benign. My main thing is always question the motive. Always ask, right? You know, even and I don't give what myself is, right? My main thing is promoting the body game. So what I'm doing, I'm just blatant with it. I'm like, hey, you know, this is what I say in my stuff and how to use the body game. So I'm promoting my stuff. And like if somebody questions, well, Rom, you always promote the body game. That's what I write about in the books that I sell you. I don't mind saying it. I'll tell you straight up. But a person still need to think about it. Like if they ask why, it's like, well, that's what I promote. All right? But think about it. Think on things. Don't just take some information because it comes from an official source or official sounding source, right? or just don't be in your feelings about it. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people in their feelings. They feel good. They like the answer. It validates their belief system. So they go with it. But it's like, no, sit down and think about it. All right? Sit down and think about it. Everybody needs to always think on why they doing something. Because a lot of people getting hurt. They holding back their own happiness. Because, you know, some official sounding source said whatever. I was like, no, start digging. Start researching. That's where look, follow the money. Follow the money. And ask yourself, all right, am I following this because I'm making an informed decision, or I'm following this because it feels good to me and something official said it was the right thing? Boom. So anyway, that's all I got for today. As always, something to think about. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.